Hi everyone! Our grid is laid out and it's finally time to dig. We've recreated a dig site in an area where fill dirt was hauled in on the agency house property a couple of years ago. We aren't doing a real dig here. This dirt came from somewhere else, and we've buried a few pottery shards here to show you how the excavation process works. Do archaeologists jump into digging with bulldozers and big shovels? Sometimes bulldozers and big shovels are needed to take off the top stuff, but after that, digging goes very, very slowly so that no artifacts get missed or broken. The earth is removed thin layer by thin layer, square by square. Some of the tools archaeologists use might be things like trowels, brushes, and even dental picks.
As dirt is slowly removed, it's put into buckets and gets dumped into a sifter. This is just a sandbox sifter. Have you ever used one of these? An archaeology sifter works the same way, but it's really big. It's usually made of a large wooden frame with wire mesh. It often sits on top of a wooden stand about waist high and can be shaken back and forth by one or even two people, depending on how it's made and how big it is. Why do you think archaeologists sift the dirt after they've carefully dug it up with trowels and brushes? Some artifacts, like beads, are very tiny and can be easily missed, but little artifacts can get caught in the mesh screen of a sifter. Let's do another activity together. You'll need a chocolate chip cookie and a toothpick. This cookie activity will help us understand why it's so important to do an archaeology dig very slowly and carefully so that no artifacts get damaged. There are no do-overs. Archaeologists can't know exactly what's in the ground, so when they're excavating an artifact, they have to work slowly and be careful not to damage any other artifacts beneath it which they can't see. Take a toothpick and try to carefully excavate the chocolate chips or raisins from your cookie. You could pause the video here and try it yourself.
Was it easy to see where all the chips were in your cookie? What kinds of problems did you have when trying to excavate your chocolate chips? Were you able to get any chips out whole without damaging any other chips? Was your cookie the same after you tried to dig out the chocolate chips? When a dig site gets excavated, will it ever be the same again? When archaeologists excavate a site, the site actually gets destroyed, doesn't it? That's why it's extremely important for archaeologists to keep field journals. A field journal is a notebook in which archaeologists can keep very detailed records of everything while they're excavating, because once the artifacts are dug up, no one can go back to see exactly how they were sitting in the ground.
In a field journal, archaeologists keep track of everything they can. They do a lot of measuring and record the numbers. They measure artifacts. They measure how deep they are in the ground. They measure where the artifacts are from side to side within the grid square. They also draw sketches, or pictures, of the artifacts in their field journals. The sketches show how an artifact looks while it's in the ground. They also write detailed descriptions. Archaeologists take lots of pictures with their cameras, too. Anything they can do to document exactly how things are found in situ is very important.
Now there's a cool word, in situ. It just means how things are found situated right there in the ground. When you pull an artifact out of the ground, it is no longer in situ. In situ means in its original place. In situ sounds a little bit like you're saying in sit you. You are sitting in the ground. That's an easy way to remember what it means. Imagine an artifact sitting in the ground, and you tell it, hey, in there sit you. In situ.
When artifacts are removed from the ground, they need to be placed in bags and boxes labeled with their grid coordinates. Each artifact is assigned a special number too. That way, everything stays neat and organized when it's whisked off to the lab for more archaeological processing.
Next up in video number 4, lab work, reports, and exhibits. We'll meet you in the lab.